This video will help you prepare a spoken presentation. So by the end of this video, you should be able to take a summary and notes you have, transform them into a bulleted list, and then use them to prepare for a presentation. Now, we're giving oral or spoken presentations in front of a class, or even in front of a screen. There are definitely physical aspects like eye contact and body positioning. There are verbal aspects of presenting, of how we how we use our voice, our volume, our rate. There are other videos on these. This presentation is focusing on preparing and rehearsing your notes for a presentation. So how do we create notes that help us develop an effective presentation? We want to review all the notes and summaries and sentences we've already written on the topic. Once you look at those, we want to pull out keywords and phrases. And we want to take those keywords and phrases from your notes and make a bulleted list. Once you have a bulleted list, you're then going to write word for word your first sentence you want to speak and your last sentence you want to speak. Sometimes we get really nervous and not sure how to start a presentation. If we have a word for word sentence laid out, that's easier. And sometimes we're never sure how to end a presentation. So we just kind of say, and yeah, I'm done. We don't want that. Instead, lay out a word for word sentence so when you are done, you have a sentence to deliver. However, everything else in between there should be bullets, not sentences. If you are just going up and reading a pre-written speech, that's standing up and reading out loud. Some long speeches, we definitely need that. But for casual presentations, we want to be able to just storytell and talk. So the last things we will do is we'll add transitions to our bullet points. So we have pre-planned transition words to move along our presentation. So for example, we have all these transition words that we can use. You can come back to this slide whenever you'd like. And I have a sample summary here of the Greek creation story, at least the beginning of the Greek creation story. So please take a moment, read through this, pause, read through this, unpause, and then we'll see the words I pull out. So I've gone through and pulled out some key words that I felt were important. I also noticed highlighted my first sentence and last sentence, which will frame my presentation. Then I'm going to take these keywords, take a look at the words highlighted in red here. I've created a bulleted list. Notice my first and last bullets are a full sentence. My bullets in the middle are just a word or a phrase. And then some of them I've added a transition word. We don't want to transition every sentence, but we can use some transition words for some bullet points. And by looking at this, I should be able to retell the Greek creation story. I'll just start this here as an example. But in the beginning of everything, there was only chaos. And then out of that chaos, two gods were created: Uranus, god of the sky, and Gaia, the earth mother. These two gods who were the sky and they were the earth, they fell in love. And first they had 12 children, the 12 titans, 6 men and 6 women who ended up marrying each other. Then Gaia gave birth to 6 more children, 3 Cyclopes, monsters with 1 eye in the middle of their head, and 300 handers, who had 50 heads and 100 arms apiece. However, Uranus, their father, thought these 6 creatures were ugly. So he took them and shoved them in the deep, dark pit of Tartarus under the earth so nobody had to see them again. And I would keep going. You can look at the rest of my notes in the previous summary. That is how our presentation can run, but we have to know our content and we have to have these notes. If presenting in person, highly recommend you print these out in larger font size or handwrite them on index cards so they are there, they're easy to read, and that you've rehearsed with them. So when we get up in front of each other, we can be comfortable as we use our verbal and physical traits of presentations. Please review this as many times as you need while preparing your own presentation.